Meghan Markle sat down with Drew Barrymore right as her Netflix cooking show, With Love. Meghan tanked with an 11% rating from more than 250 reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. The Duchess keeps talking about human connection and being there for friends and family through her new lifestyle brand, As Ever. Critics don't share her enthusiasm and call her show a Montecito ego trip not worth taking. Several contradictions have surfaced between what she's saying now and her past interviews about her kids and life with Prince Harry. The TV appearance revealed Prince Harry's sweet 6-word dating promise. "I vow to always date you." Something else grabbed our attention. Her comments about Archie, 5, and Lilibet, 3, don't quite match up with what she said before, especially in that big CBS interview that everyone watched. Body language expert Judy James's analysis shows striking differences in Meghan Markle's behavior during the Drew Barrymore show. The Duchess of Sussex started reserved, which was quite different from her usual warm and friendly self. Markle's interview revealed several defensive gestures that pointed to underlying tension. She didn't match Barrymore's affectionate approach and managed to keep a straight, formal posture with her hand in her pocket. Her hands stayed in front of her body, curled into fists, creating what experts call a subtle barrier ritual. The Duchess's face told its own story of discomfort. Her eyebrows formed a steepled pattern that suggested wariness, and she used strategic hand movements to partly shield her face. She used various techniques to avoid looking directly at Barrymore, even though the host kept trying to connect. The conversation moved forward, and Markle showed what looked like polite yet firm boundary-setting behaviors. She put her hand on Barrymore's arm in what experts saw as a gentle restraining gesture. She looked at the camera more than her host and kept a wide social smile instead of matching Barrymore's intimate style. This appearance was nowhere near her previous public interactions. She used to start warm physical contact herself, giving hugs and showing spontaneous affection. Her enthusiastic hug with Beyoncé in 2019 was completely different from how she acted with Barrymore. Barrymore stayed affectionate throughout the interview. Experts called it a partial koala embrace. She wrapped her arms around Markle's waist and nestled against her hair. All the same, Markle kept what body language experts described as emotional distance and seemed more focused on the camera than connecting with her host. These two personalities created an interesting contrast. Barrymore showed warmth through rounded cheeks and pursed lip smiles that signaled friendship. Markle took what experts called a more regal-looking pose. This stance might reflect her time with the British royal family, where her natural tendency to touch reportedly wasn't welcome. Darren Stanton, another body language expert, explained Markle's overall presentation. Though she seemed tense with physical contact, Stanton noticed signs of confidence and authenticity in her verbal communication. She used open palm gestures during parts of the conversation that showed genuine interest in the topics. This interview with Drew Barrymore didn't just raise eyebrows because of what Meghan said. It was also the way it played out on screen. The physical dynamics and overly familiar approach have become a bit of a signature for Barrymore, sparking debates about personal boundaries in celebrity interviews. We've seen similar moments with big names like Oprah Winfrey and Martha Stewart, but with Meghan, it added a whole new layer of awkwardness. What do you think about this? Do you find this style of interviewing refreshing or uncomfortable? And now that our channel has changed the way we deliver content, we want to hear from you, our unbiased viewers. If there's a topic you'd love for us to cover, drop it in the comments. We value every suggestion. Now, let's get back to today's discussion. Drew Barrymore's recent interview revealed startling gaps in Meghan Markle's claims about her children's upbringing. A full picture of past interviews next to current statements shows several contradictions that need a closer look. The Duchess of Sussex's latest TV appearance included specific claims about her children's speech patterns. She said Archie and Lilibet say certain words with British accents, pointing to zebra as an example. The kids speak mostly with American accents, but Meghan highlighted these British touches as sweet links to their dad's heritage. Despite that, documented evidence tells a different story. Public appearances show Archie, who lived his first months in England, speaks with a clear American accent. Lilibet hasn't had much exposure to British speech patterns beyond her dad's influence since she was born and raised in Montecito, California. Earlier interviews paint an inconsistent picture of the children's language development. Meghan worried about her kids' exposure to British media culture, yet claimed they kept strong ties to their British roots through language. This story doesn't add up when you look at her school-related comments. She claimed school drop-offs in the UK would mean facing a press pen of 40 people snapping pictures. Prince Harry later dealt with Page 6 photographers who caught Archie on his first preschool day in America. The children's early years show some troubling timeline gaps. Archie's birth story raises questions, with several details that don't match up. The palace announced Meghan's labor 7 hours after Archie arrived. Harry's book Spare claimed they went back to Frogmore Cottage 2 hours after birth. Medical experts found this quick departure hard to believe. Changed paperwork adds another layer of questions. Meghan changed Archie's birth certificate 11 days later, which caught royal watchers' attention. William and Catherine showed their newborns right away. But Harry and Meghan waited over 2 days, and people barely saw the baby. Lilibet's arrival at Santa Barbara Cottage Hospital sparked discussions. She was born after they moved to their $14 million Montecito home, with privacy levels nobody had seen before. This approach broke from royal family traditions of being open about births. Then these mixed messages led to bigger questions about the children's future roles and identities. Archie and Lilibet stand 7th and 8th in line for the British throne. Their unique position lets them potentially run for both British monarch and U.S. president, a constitutional situation that needs careful thought. A fierce debate erupted on social media platforms after Meghan Markle's recent name change declaration. The Duchess corrected Mindy Kaling during her Netflix show With Love. Meghan by stating, "It's so funny, too, that you keep saying Meghan Markle. You know I'm Sussex now." People on social media challenged this statement by sharing both royal children's birth certificates. Official documents show Archie and Lilibet registered as Master Archie Mountbatten Windsor and Miss Lilibet Mountbatten Windsor, respectively. The controversy reveals deeper complexities in royal naming traditions. Mountbatten Windsor has been the official surname for royal family members who need one since 1960. Notwithstanding that, many royals use variations of their titles as surnames in their daily lives. Sussex County residents voiced their concerns about the Duchess's adoption of their regional name. They pointed out her limited connection to the area, with just one visit to the county in 8 years. Community members suggested that using the Sussex name requires meaningful participation with the region, such as supporting local children's charities or community initiatives. Wendy Bosbury Scott, editor of Debrett's Peerage and Baronetage, clarified, "The official surname of the royal family is Mountbatten Windsor. Yes, it is a long-standing practice of the royal family and the peerage to use a title as a surname where one is available. This naming practice extends beyond the Sussexes. Prince William's children go by George, Charlotte, and Louis Cambridge at school, reflecting their parents' former titles. Prince Harry was known as Harry Wales during his school years and military service, derived from his father's previous title as Prince of Wales." Joe Little, managing editor of Majesty magazine, confirmed this flexibility in royal naming conventions. "It is a practice that has been going on for years. Therefore, not specifically dictated in the rules according to Buckingham Palace, there is fluidity." King Charles's ascension to the throne in September 2022 added another layer of complexity. Archie and Lilibet received the titles of Prince and Princess, which led to their names being updated on the royal family's website to Prince Archie of Sussex and Princess Lilibet of Sussex. Meghan highlighted the emotional value of sharing a family name in recent interviews. She told People magazine, "It's our shared name as a family, and I hadn't recognized how meaningful that would be to me until we had children. The Sussex name is part of our love story that she plans to share with her children." The question of whether Harry and Meghan legally changed their surname to Sussex remains unclear. The royal family's website states, "Members of the royal family can be known both by the name of the royal house and by a surname, which are not always the same, and often they do not use a surname at all." Prince Harry's TV appearances have drawn intense scrutiny alongside his wife's Drew Barrymore interview claims. The Duke of Sussex showed up unexpectedly at Canada's Grey Cup. This marked his first public event without Meghan Markle. Prince Harry surprised everyone by attending one of Canada's biggest sporting events, the Grey Cup final between the Toronto Argonauts and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. He spoke to the Sports Network before the match with enthusiasm. "I'm looking forward to the game getting started. Let's go." His solo trip to Vancouver came right after Meghan was seen dancing by herself at a Hollywood event. Their separate public outings have led many to wonder about the couple's public life. Someone close to the palace said solo Harry comes from his wish to be independent. Harry's TV presence went beyond sports. He broke from typical royal appearances on Jimmy Fallon's U.S. talk show. Instead of a regular interview, he became the first surprise guest to try out a Halloween experience called Jimmy Fallon's Tonightmares at the Rockefeller Center. Harry showed a different side during the Haunted Maze segment. Several moments needed censorship because of his startled reactions. Asked about being afraid, he said, "Not normally, but today might be different." The segment ended with Harry acting on instinct as he pretended to throw a punch after one final scare. These appearances lined up with his speech at the Clinton Global Initiative in New York about online threats to children. The timing of his public events has people asking questions about the couple's approach, especially since Meghan was busy promoting her Netflix series With Love. Meghan. Harry made a short but intimate appearance in Meghan's show's final episode, Feels Like Home. and the scene caught a sweet moment between them as they celebrated Meghan's new business venture. As ever, "Well done. You did a great job," Harry said warmly, and Meghan replied with a soft thank you. Body language expert Judy James looked at this interaction closely. He places an arm around Meghan's shoulders, pulling her close to his torso, creating the impression that she is endearingly tucked under his arm. James noticed his gentle tone and how he positioned himself to give Meghan his full attention. The couple showed they still work together on shared causes through their joint video message at a UN conference in Colombia about children's online safety. People who know about their work say these separate appearances show a new direction in their professional lives. It's becoming clearer that Harry and Meghan's paths are starting to drift in very different directions. While Meghan chases the spotlight with her TV appearances and lifestyle brand, Harry's solo outings paint a picture of someone carving out his own identity and perhaps seeking some distance. Could this be the beginning of a bigger shift in their relationship and public image? What do you think? Are we seeing cracks in the Sussex brand? Or is this just a natural evolution of their individual careers? Share your thoughts in the comments. We can't wait to hear your take. And if you haven't already, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss the latest updates.